Hey, how's it going, guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we're going to be checking out a PC from Lyte Tech.
This is going to be a very interesting pre-built system, and we're very excited to check it out and see if it has a good value for you people out there. But before we get into this PC review, let's hear a word from today's sponsor, Dashlane. If you're working or quarantined from home right now, you're probably doing more than just working. Whether you're binge watching, ordering, gaming, or just doing anything else other than working, you most likely have a ton of accounts that you need passwords for.
With Dashlane's, your logins work the first time, every time. Dashlane makes it simple to securely store your passwords and information online.
This all-in-one solution includes a super secure password generator, a world-class VPN to protect your privacy online, and autofill all your personal information like addresses, credit cards, and more to make shopping online a breeze.
All of your information on Dashlane is encrypted, and only you have the ability to get access to this personal information, so you can feel good about your information not falling into the wrong hands.
You can get Dashlane on your first device for free, but if you use the link down below, dashlane.com/toastybros, the first 100 users can get 25% off their premium version, and that gets you access to additional devices. Do it. Seriously, it makes things way easier. Special thanks again to Dashlane for sponsoring this video. Now, let's talk about this computer, shall we?
So let's just go ahead and start unboxing this PC and see exactly what they include with the PC, and then we'll talk about the PC itself. One thing that's pretty cool about this company, though, is they actually include prices for each individual component on their website. Now, for granted, these are going to be retail prices, so obviously it's a pre-built PC. You got to spend a little bit of premium somewhere because they got to make some money. So they do take the whole act of having to build the PC out of your hands. All right, so opening into the box, there's really nothing in here besides the PC. And there might be some stuff at the bottom. I'm gonna move this knife so I don't hurt myself. Again, we can't afford another lawsuit on our hands.
Another lawsuit, what?
All right, well, it looks like we got some of that preformed packing stuff on the inside, but yeah, I don't know if maybe the power cord's on the inside or maybe there's not one included.
Power cord's over here, by the way.
Power cord's over there, okay.
There's the power cord.
Power cord's over here.
I hid the power cord from you.
You hid it. Does come with the power cord. All right, let's go ahead and get this PC on the proper axes.
I like that they use the included packing material that you should with the pre-built system to make sure everything is going to be nice and clean. And it looks like they included a sticker, which is cool, I guess.
It says to include eye protection too.
Use eye protection. Cool. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting PC. Now, is this going to be the best value if you go out and build it on your own? No, but Lyte Tech knows this. This is a PC that's going to be good for those who just don't want to build a PC, who want an included warranty, which you do get with these computers, and just really are scared to build a PC, honestly. That's like the best thing that we can say for someone who wants to get a PC from a company like Lyte Tech.
All right, we're going to go ahead and remove this preformed stuff in here where eye protection is removing. But yeah, PC is intact, so that's good. Nothing broke off on shipment. We actually do have an SSD mounted, which is nice. So for the spec list, we have a Ryzen 5 1600. I don't know if we confirmed if that was the AF or not.
The rep told us about the 1600 AF that they could use the AF version, but they just buy them whenever they need systems. So there could be a chance that there's an AF in here, but we don't know for sure. So it's kind of a
gamble.
It's just kind of a gamble if you're going to get this PC.
And then another thing you'll notice is we only have a single stick of 8 gigs DDR4. Now, of course, they are planning on actually changing this to 2 sticks. So, fear not. We got a very early engineering sample here. We have a GTX 1060 3 gig card, a 128 gig Samsung SSD, a 500 gigabyte hard drive, which is going to be tucked down here, a 450 watt EVGA power supply. It's 80 plus. That's actually a Smart 500.
We got an upgrade,
I've seen those before.
Yeah, those are nice.
And we have the Sama tempered glass RGB case. Actually a really good case. We've actually done a build in this before. And Windows 10 Pro, which they value at $75. Honestly, a little bit cheaper than what normal Windows 10 Pro runs. Usually it's around 130. So that's cool that they technically discount Windows 10 a little bit because we know they probably don't pay quite that much for it. So it's nice that they're not trying to say that that's another 150, 130 bucks.
So yeah, this PC coming in around $700 is an interesting value. We're gonna go ahead and run this thing through a couple of tests, see how the thermals are, maybe take this thing apart beforehand and see what the cable management looks like on behind, because we love cable management here at the Toasty Bros.
All right, let's go ahead and take off this back panel, see what we got going on here. One thing to keep in mind is that many pre-built PCs, these are just hand-built by a person. So you're not getting like an HP or a Dell system where it's like perfectly 100% to the T built. With systems like this, you are going to see odd flaws here and there. You might have a loose screw sometimes. Like, I definitely recommend whenever you buy pre-built from any company, iBuyPower, Origin, really anywhere, open the PC up when you get it, because you have to anyways. Shake it around, make sure there's no loose screws. Check and make sure that all your cables are still tucked in. Pretty decent cable management.
Not bad.
It's not, not the best. Like, they could have gone a little bit further, but like, this is definitely better than a lot of the PCs that Matt and I've seen built.
Yeah, there's no crazy like bad cable management to where it's going to restrict airflow. It's definitely put together nicely. The hard drive is installed there as well. But I mean, overall, this is a nice looking system. I mean, it's pretty well built, and really the main factor is to see how this thing performs once we load it up and test it in a couple games. So we're probably going to throw in our benchmark drive because that will allow us to test games quicker because we have games installed already. But yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
So as I mentioned earlier, this thing only has 1 stick of RAM, and Matt's gonna tell you guys why that's bad.
So single channel memory on Ryzen is a big bottleneck. So if you run 1 stick of memory, there's a good chance that your system's gonna lose sometimes half the performance, normally around 30 to 40%, even if you're not using integrated graphics. So we actually did a video about this. If you hit the eye in the top right corner, right up there somewhere, where we tested single channel versus dual channel memory, and Lyte Tech was, well, they mentioned that they're going to be swapping out all future systems with 8 gigs of RAM with 2 sticks. So that's a big move. And because of that, we don't want to benchmark this system and not represent it as, well, what it's not going to be in the future. So we're going to go ahead and swap in 2 sticks of 4 gigs of memory just to get that experience. So keep in mind, we are making a slight change here to this system, but it's not like it's going to be a big difference anyway. It will, well, be a more real representation of what the system will be like when you order it yourself. Alright guys, the first game we are going to be testing is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now we're actually running this on low settings just to get the best possible scenario for a game like this, and we're getting well over 60 plus FPS as I get sniped. Lovely. Let's see if we can get some kills while we run around here, but definitely the bottleneck in a system like this is going to be the 1060. It could definitely handle a better GPU, which is not a bad thing because you get a pretty decent system now and you could always upgrade it yourself in the future. GPU upgrades are very easy, even if you're not an experienced PC builder. It's not too difficult to slap in a new GPU and have an even better experience. But this system overall is pretty upgradable, so I would not be worried about investing the amount of money and then not getting the long-term results that you might be looking for from a PC. We did not do a deep dive to check if this was the 1600 AF because we can't really promise that you'll get the AF in any future PCs you buy from Lyte Tech because they don't purposely go out there and get those processors. So do keep that in mind. But if you do happen to get one, I mean, you can definitely look at it, open your CPU up and check the CPU model number. If there's an AF on it, then, well, you got the lucky 14 nanometer AF, which is basically like a 2600, but a little bit better. So, I mean, overall, the performance in this game ran really well over 60 FPS. Games like this that are more GPU bound and require a lot more VRAM are probably going to struggle a little bit. So having only 3 gigs of VRAM with this 1060 might hold you back. But I mean, look, at lower settings, which again is not a really compromised experience, you're getting well over 60 plus FPS. So how about we go ahead and test another game real quick. Alright guys, the next game we're going to be testing is Overwatch. Now we're running on ultra settings right now just to get like a worst case scenario, but I mean, hey, it's Overwatch. It's an esports title. It's pretty easy to run. As you can tell, well over 100 plus FPS right now. Really can't complain about the results. So we're going to go around, try to get some kills and look decent at this game, even though I'm absolutely garbage, and see if we can get some good numbers for you to look at when considering this PC. This is definitely no issue whatsoever. You can tell it is GPU bottlenecked, but as I mentioned again, this is actually a good thing because you can easily upgrade the GPU and still have a good upgradable system in the future. So I mean, this system is pretty well balanced. We're probably gonna test a couple other games, but I mean, overall, I'm very, very impressed with this little pre-built system from Lyte Tech. It's doing a good job at producing pretty good numbers for somebody who may want to spend around $700 on a PC. All right, guys, so as you can tell, this had no problem running Overwatch, which was kind of to be expected, but definitely a good game to test. So let's go ahead and try another game real quick. All right, guys, the next game we are going to be testing is, of course, Fortnite. You got to give Fortnite a good shot. This PC is probably going to have no problems running Fortnite. We're going to go ahead and dive into a Team Rumble match on pro settings, which is epic view distance, everything else on low. And we're going to give this thing a good shot and see what kind of performance we can get. Ideally, above 100 FPS would be great. A little bit higher than that would be even better, but we're going to see exactly what kind of performance we get in this game that everyone definitely requests and they want to see us benchmark more often. So let's go ahead and dive in and see what we got. Now keep in mind, any stuttering that may occur is because we do have the frame rate limit turned off, and whenever you have that running like maxed out, sometimes some of the other hardware in the system will be a bottleneck and hold the thing back. So any stuttering, keep that in mind. That could be a reason of what's going on, but I mean, we'll dive into the actual match here after we leave the loading screen and see what kind of performance we can get. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into the agency here. Anytime dropping in on any game, you're gonna get some frame rate drops, but we'll see exactly what kind of performance we get as we land. One bottleneck we might see in some of the games is the amount of RAM in the system. 16 gigs of RAM is becoming more of the norm, so upgrading that in the future would be a good thing to do. But I mean, right now we're only hovering around 6 gigs of RAM, which is fine, but if you did have some background tasks open, that could be something that could slow your system down from getting the most optimal performance. So as we land in here real quick, we are going to try to grab a weapon before we die, and boom, here we go. We'll see the frame rate try to settle out at above 150 FPS, which is definitely playable. I cannot complain about that whatsoever. So we're gonna run around and see if we can find some people to fight, which there definitely will be some people here. I mean, there are some stutters. I think that has to do with the network connection. That's one thing to keep in mind. We are having some internet issues here at the office, so any like rubber banding might be network issues. But we will set a frame rate cap to 60 here in a second and see if that makes things a little bit smoother. Maybe 120 for like a high refresh rate monitor. But I mean, running around, cannot complain whatsoever. It's performing pretty well. But hey, Fortnite, more than playable on this system. Pro settings, 1080p, could stretch into high refresh rate if you really wanted to with a setup like this. So I can comfortably recommend you can play Fortnite on this PC, which is basically what everyone wants to know nowadays. So let's go ahead and try another game real quick. All right, guys, the last game we are going to be testing is CSGO. Now, this is definitely going to be an easy game for this system to run. Ideally, this PC is probably going to be designed for esports titles, so that's why we're primarily playing esports titles. You could play AAA titles with this, but you will be running on like lower-ish medium settings. So we want to give this thing the best chance to basically, well, perform as well as it can, and we're going to dive into CSGO on high settings and see exactly how that does. All right, guys, we are in good old CSGO. Getting, well, good numbers, well over 100 plus FPS, which is to be expected. I'd be pretty disappointed if this thing did not get well over 100 FPS. We're gonna run around, get some kills, and just show off this PC a little bit more. Hello. Oh, nice scope, nice. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be a great system for playing esports titles, and the price point really reflects that. You could easily get one of their higher end versions that may come with a better graphics card if you do want to play a lot of like AAA titles at like 60 plus FPS and maybe higher resolutions. You may want to look at different PCs that they offer, but I think this one is probably one of the best value PCs they offer because it's not using older hardware, it's using a 1600, which is still a very capable system that is very upgradable, and is not using something like an older i7, which some of their PCs do use, which by no means is bad. It just doesn't have the same upgrade path that something that Ryzen does. So going with even a first-gen Ryzen processor gives you a lot longer of a lifespan for your PC just because of upgradability alone. So this PC overall is a pretty solid deal, and again, performance on CSGO is no problem whatsoever. So how about we kill all these people and then bring Jackson back in here to do a wrap-up real quick.
Alright guys, so after doing some benchmarking, we kind of decided that this really isn't bad for the money. Honestly, coming in at $699, for this one specific, it packs a pretty good bang for the buck, for being a pre-built, of course.
Lyte Technologies as a company is very open with how they do their business by showing all the prices that they do, albeit some of the prices could be a little bit more accurate because of used prices and whatnot. But understandably, they are sourcing their hardware themselves from places other than eBay, so they do have to charge somewhat of a premium for the prices that they're getting and making sure that they do work, as opposed to you going on eBay building yourself and having to deal with it potentially being broken. That kind of adds an extra value there to the value of the part actually working. But I mean, yes, of course, you could build a PC on your own and it could be cheaper and perform better. But again, this is a pre-built market. You're gonna have to pay a premium. They're a business, they gotta make money. But I mean, for the value, you're still getting a pretty awesome PC. 1600, very upgradable with a Ryzen motherboard, and that 1060 is still no slouch when it comes to gaming.
So if you guys want to purchase this PC, don't forget to use the links in the description down below, and huge thanks to Lyte Tech for sending us over. Don't forget to go check out their website for some of the awesome PCs they have to offer.
A special thanks again to Dashlane for sponsoring this video. Again, link in the description down below, dashlane.com/toastybros to sign up today. First 100 people, get a hold of that deal. And yeah.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Wow! Wow!